Brad is in court to claim £1,000 after the taxi he had booked failed to turn up on time and he missed his flight. Defendant Katie says Brad would have missed his flight regardless, as he did not book it at the correct time, and as he did not inform them the taxi was late, she owes nothing. She is counterclaiming £25 for the cost of a taxi fare which Brad failed to pay.
Now, do I have Brad here?
Yes, you do.
Thank you very much. And is it Katie?
Yes, Judge.
Who are you with?
This is Freya, who deals with our social media.
Is she planning to tweet during the course of the case? I don't... Freya, why are you here?
Yeah, so I dealt with the case when it came through on our Facebook page.
How splendid. Now, Brad, let's start at the beginning. Where were you planning to go around June 2018?
It was a holiday booked for my 30th birthday, booked months in advance, and I was going to Nice, where I was meeting a friend of mine who had flown all the way from Australia.
Understand. So it was time critical.
Yeah.
And very important, correct?
Yes.
There is your flight statement. What time was the flight leaving?
I was leaving at 8.
Just give me the idea of where you were going from.
From an area called Rochford, which is part of Southend.
Yes.
And I was going to, from my friend's address, where I'd stayed at the night before. He'd taken me out for a birthday dinner.
I'm going to ask about that in a minute, but just in general term, you were going from Rochford?
From Rochford to Southend, which is very close to each other, and then from there to Stansted Airport.
What time would you choose to be at the airport ordinarily?
2 hours before departure.
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Would you agree with that, Katie? Your firm must take people to the airport all the time. It's bread and butter of the business, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Judge.
So, for example, if I phone you and I say, hello, Katie, I'd like to go to Stansted Airport, what would our exchange be? What would you say to me?
I'd ask you, what time would you like to be at the airport?
And I'd say, let me think. I'd like to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
And then I'd say, so that is for an 8 o'clock flight. You're allowing yourself 2 hours. If it's a long-haul flight, you would allow yourself 3 hours.
And why do you do that, Katie?
To guarantee that you will be on that flight.
Because all sorts of things can go wrong on the way. Like what?
Yeah, traffic, all sorts, yeah.
Thank you very much. So you wanted to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning?
That's correct, yeah.
The next thing you said to me was that you were planning to stay at your friend's house the night before this flight.
Correct.
And that had always been your plan?
Yes.
Because it was your birthday and presumably because your friend wanted to hang out with you, or whatever it's called, on the night before you went to Nice.
Yeah.
Agreed? He took you for dinner.
Yeah.
And you telephoned Katie's company and you booked a taxi.
Yes.
You asked them for a specific recommendation as to the appropriate time for them to leave.
Correct.
And you say that you took your cue from them, they gave you a recommendation based upon their experience of driving from the area you live to Stansted.
Yes, and I agreed with it because I've done that journey before as well, so I knew that's what I needed.
Seemed about right to you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, Katie, you were not the controller that day, is that right?
No, I was not.
Were you the dispatcher that day?
No, I was not.
Do you keep records on behalf of the controllers and the dispatchers?
Yes.
In other words, it's a decent cab company. Now, what's been said there is that there was a discussion. He took his recommendation about how long he should take to get to Stansted. And what's more, there was a clear indication that the appropriate time to leave the house would be 5 o'clock in the morning. And he accepted that. And consequently, the cab was booked for 5 o'clock in the morning to come to his friend's address. In the course of that conversation, last question before you answer, did you explain that there was going to be a stop at your house?
Yes, it was very clear, the journey.
Very clear. Thank you very much. Friend, house, airport, right?
Yes.
Correct or incorrect?
Yes, we did know about the additional journey to South Church, but can I just... It wasn't Brad who booked the taxi the night before. It was another gentleman who provided his mobile number. We never had a contact number for Brad.
Now, could this be somebody called Oliver? Did he leave a message?
It was in the name of Oliver.
Is this the we that we're referring to?
Yes.
Well, this is what Oliver says. Brad doesn't drink much, so I took him out for dinner. I don't know what that's got to do. Perhaps he thought you'd be a cheap date. And we came home early and passed out at about 10 to 11 p.m. And he says Brad had already booked a taxi for 5 o'clock in the morning and he got confirmation for this. That's the first point. In other words, Oliver says that Brad had booked the taxi. What evidence do you have which helps me come to a conclusion that it might not have been Brad that made that phone call?
The name that the booking was made in and the contact number that the booking was made in.
Can I see that
Yes, you
document,
can.
please? Thank you very much.
It's the
Can I just ask?
5:30
No, I'm looking at
AM
evidence
as well.
and you'll have an opportunity to respond to it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Will you explain to me what this record is, please, madam?
We keep a A4 diary where all the airport long-distance work gets entered in old-fashioned style, you might say, and then the information is written on a slip, which the driver will be given the slip. He has all the details then.
Thank you very much. The next thing that you have in your evidence pack is a confirmation text which you send to the driver.
Because it was taken the night before, the early morning pickup, the driver wasn't out working. He's not going to make a trip, especially to the office, to pick up the docket slip that has all the information.
And so consequently you sent him a text?
Consequently, we sent him a text.
Understood. And you provide him with evidence of this text. Now, just so you know, you won't have seen this.
Yes.
This appears to me, according to the reply, the very clear reply that's given by Katie, is what you do in a situation like this. It's a late-night booking. It's going to be very early in the morning. You want to make sure that your driver's got the relevant details. He knows where to go and at what time. Correct?
Correct.
And so this is the message that you sent him.
Correct.
Hi, the booking is for 5:30. It's clearly got the address that's set out. That's Oliver's address, which corresponds exactly to the log. It's been booked in the system for £60, and it says they have given details of where they are on the estate and will put in your additional information. Did he reply to that?
The driver, no.
Wouldn't you, madam, expect a driver to respond to that? Something like, Roger, Roger, or yes, I've got it, or we'll be up at 5:30 in the morning, so that you, I say you, but you're really speaking on behalf of staff
Yes.
that work in your firm, can be absolutely confident that they have got the instruction.
Yes.
It's unfortunate, isn't it, that he didn't reply to that?
Yes.
You'd agree?
Yes.
A mistake?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Honest. Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.